Today, we are going to tackle the biggest story there is, our own. Seriously, this isn't just some history lesson. Think of it as our family album, one that stretches back millions and millions of years. We're going to go on a journey to meet our most distant ancestors and, uncover the incredible chain of events that led right here, to us.
It's maybe the biggest question we can ask ourselves, right? It's this deep mystery that connects every single one of us, no matter where you are. So how did we get here? Well, let's find out.
I want you to imagine opening the world's oldest family album. We're going to flip back through the pages, way past our grandparents, past all of recorded history, all the way to the very first fuzzy branches of our family tree. Our journey starts right now.
Okay, so here's our roadmap for this trip. We're starting a whopping 25 million years ago with our earliest ape-like ancestors. Then we're going to work our way forward, meeting all the key players who represent these huge milestones in our evolution, all the way up to the appearance of us, Homo sapiens.
So, our story really begins with a single, absolutely revolutionary adaptation. It's a move that literally changed our perspective on the world and set us on a completely new evolutionary path. This was a big one.
Way back, our story starts up in the trees, with ancestors like Dryopithecus. But, as the environment changed, so did we. A new hominid, Ramapithecus, came on the scene, and it might have been one of the very first to leave the safety of the forest canopy and head for the ground. That one decision set the stage for our biggest leap yet.
And that leap, it was bipedalism. Yep, walking on two legs. Now, this was so much more than just a new way to get around. It was a fundamental shift. It freed up the hands. Suddenly, our ancestors could carry food, defend themselves, and eventually create tools. This is the adaptation that truly separates the first hominids from all the other apes.
So who was the trailblazer who truly mastered this new way of life? Well, it's time to meet the first real pioneer of walking in our entire family tree.
Everybody, meet Australopithecus. This ancestor was roaming the savannas of Africa around 4 million years ago, and they're the ones who really embody that first great leap. Now, they weren't quite like us yet, but by consistently walking upright, they were striding into a whole new world of possibilities.
Okay, so with hands now free, the next great revolution wasn't in the body, it was in the mind. This was the moment our ancestors stopped just living in the world and started actively shaping it.
And the hominid that represents this massive change is the very first member of our own genus, Homo. So let's say hello to Homo habilis, an ancestor whose nickname, well, it tells you everything you need to know.
Homo habilis, the handyman, totally earned that name. Around 2.4 million years ago, they became our first engineers. They didn't just find tools, they made them. They figured out how to fracture a stone to create a sharp edge. That's a massive cognitive leap. It requires planning, foresight, and a completely new way of seeing the world, not just as it is, but as it could be.
Building on that incredible foundation, our next ancestor didn't just master their local environment, they decided to set out and master the world. This is the great explorer of our family.
Homo erectus just took evolution to the next level. They perfected the upright stride, they developed way more advanced tools, and they harnessed one of the most powerful forces in nature, fire. Think about it. With warmth, protection, and cooked food, they had the toolkit to do something no one had ever done. They became the first of our ancestors to migrate out of Africa and begin exploring the entire world.
Okay, now this is where our family story gets really, really interesting. For the longest time, people thought it was just a straight line leading to us. But we know now there was a fork in the road. For a long, long time, we were not alone.
For thousands of years, at least two distinct, intelligent human species walked the Earth at the same time. Over in the cold climates of Europe and Asia, the Neanderthals, strong, really skilled hunters, and expert tool users. But meanwhile, back in Africa, a new group was emerging, our own direct ancestors, Homo sapiens.
This leads us to a pretty dramatic final chapter, and a huge question. If there were other human species, why are we the only ones left? What was it about our particular branch of the family that allowed us to thrive and, eventually become the last human standing?
The answer, it seems, was a cognitive revolution.
While Neanderthals were incredibly capable, Homo sapiens developed a whole new kind of intelligence. We created complex, symbolic language, which allowed us to cooperate in huge numbers. We told stories, we painted art on cave walls, we built shared cultures that could pass knowledge down through generations. This ability to create and believe in shared fictions, that was our superpower.
So when did we, anatomically modern humans, finally show up on the scene? About 200,000 years ago. Now, when you put that number up against the 25 million year timeline we started with, you realize just how incredibly recent our chapter in this story really is. We are the new kids on the block, big time. And think about this, even after we appeared, it took a while for our unique abilities to really take off. The things we most associate with being human, our imagination, our art, our complex societies, they're mostly products of just the last 100,000 years. We've been walking upright for millions of years, but we've only been dreaming in symbols for a tiny fraction of that time.
So from tree dwellers to tool makers, from the first upright steps to the first steps on the moon, our story has been one of constant adaptation. Millions of years of biological and cultural evolution created the very mind you're using to understand this right now. Which of course leaves us with one fascinating final question. With a changing climate, artificial intelligence, genetic engineering, what great adaptation will define the next chapter of the human story?